Hey guys, welcome back to another JC Tennis video. So, Sinner's case has come to a close. He's been given a 3-month suspension due to the doping situation from last year. Djokovic is back this week. He's playing the Doha Open, and he had some quotes. He had some things to say about Jannik Sinner and inconsistencies that have been shown. So, I have an article about it pulled up here. It's quotes literally just from today. I'm going to read through some of what he had to say. So the article is titled, Djokovic urges tennis authorities to rethink current anti-doping system. So it just starts off by talking about how Sinner agreed to a 3-month ban on Saturday, admitting partial responsibility to the mistakes made within his team, which led to him twice testing positive for clostebol in his system. So Djokovic said, there's a majority of the players that I've talked to in the locker room, not just in the last few days, but the last months, that are not happy with the way this whole process has been handled. A majority of the players don't feel that it's fair. A majority of the players feel like there is favoritism happening. It seems like it appears that you can almost affect the outcome if you're a top player, if you have access to the top lawyers. This is definitely not something that just Djokovic has noted. I know Stan Wawrinka on Twitter has spoken out about it. Nick Kyrgios obviously has very, very openly spoken about it. And some others like Kokkinakis and some players like that have spoken about a lot of these things that Djokovic is saying. And Djokovic saying that the majority of the players don't feel it's fair, a majority of the players feel like there's favoritism. If Novak Djokovic is saying that, it's definitely something that is going on, in my opinion. He's just such a veteran presence and definitely has a feel of what's happening on tour. Another quote from him, there's so much inconsistencies between the cases. He talked about Simona Halep and some other players that are maybe less known that have been struggling to resolve their cases for years or have gotten the ban for years. Obviously, that is very different from what's happened with Jannik Sinner. Here's a tweet from Ollie just talking about some of the same quotes we just read. The article talks about how Djokovic is returning the action for the first time since retiring. That's a whole different topic. I'm very excited to see how Djokovic looks. He plays Matteo Berrettini tomorrow. But Djokovic finished up by saying, right now it's a ripe time for us to really address the system because the system and the structure obviously doesn't work for anti-doping. I hope that in the next period of the near future that the governing bodies are going to come together of our tours and the tennis ecosystem and try to find a more effective way to deal with these processes. It's inconsistent and it appears to be very unfair. The problem is right now that there's a lack of trust generally from the tennis players, both male and female, towards these federations and the whole process. Yeah, I mean, I think all these players want to see change, but I don't know what's going to force them to change because at the end of the day, these players, even all the best players in the world, can complain about this issue, and it just feels like what are they going to do? There's just so much power and corruption, it almost feels like, in tennis. And I agree with the fact that maybe a year or two would have been too long, and then obviously not doing anything wouldn't have been fair either, but it's the timing of the 3 months that's so suspicious, and it just makes it feel like there's still so much favoritism, and it really just feels meaningless. I mean, the timing is just unbelievable. He gets to play Australia, and then he gets his 3-month ban that they agree to. I'm not sure how this agreement works. A lot of people have talked about it, but they agree to this 3-month suspension in February, ends in May. He still gets to play, I think, one of the 1,000s in Italy before the French Open, so he doesn't miss any Grand Slam. He just really misses the Sunshine Double and a few other tournaments. Yeah, it's definitely eyebrow-raising, eye-opening, all of the above for sure. But we'll see in the coming months and years if anything ends up happening with this type of doping thing. As soon as, I mean, there's always doping in tennis and in sport. There will be another doping case, and it's going to be, I feel like, absolute mayhem, whatever happens in the next doping case, whether it's a high-profile player or not. It's going to be very heavily reported. I'm sure I'll be talking about it as well. So we'll see what happens. I love that Djokovic spoke out about it. He's a very straight shooter in his older age. Just kind of says it how he sees it, which is really respectable in the world today. And yeah, that's really all I have for this one, guys. I'll see you guys again very soon.